We're back and we got some fun confessions.
Plus, we've got some school fails and tales with some interesting teacher gifts and some parents in the news for you. Then he dropped an ounce bag on her desk and said, "This is for you." What do you do with that?
Oh, you're that parent.
That was a whoopsie. It's not as weird as it sounds.
That's freaking weird. Well, today we're just going to jump straight in with our yays and nays.
Yes.
You can kick off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was very boring.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Mine was great.
Just jump into the yays and nays. Hi, everybody.
My yay was we actually had a reasonably social weekend.
Yeah. Made it out of the house.
Twice. Without kids.
Woo.
No, one with kids, one without kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, I find like parenting, it's nice to have friends that you can just hang out with and do the chaos together with.
Yeah. Yes, I really enjoyed our morning with our friends at the park. Literally, they've got kids the same age and it was like all chaos all together, but it was nice and it was soul-filling. Yes, I agree with you.
And then that night we went out to a kid-free birthday party.
Also very soul-filling.
Very soul-filling. So it was nice. It was good. And my nay is the 4-year-old in toilet training. Just yesterday, right? So he had this strain of like, I want to wear the undies. Great. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Did he go to the toilet once? No.
That wasn't part of it. He just wanted to wear the undies.
I just want to wear the undies. So I get to kindy and like, I'm like, oh, you still in your undies? He's like, nope, I'm in a nappy. He's like, I did all the wees and all the poos. And I have no clothes left. I'm like,
literally, I packed his whole drawer of pants knowing that it could be a disaster in the making.
And there's literally none. And one did not make it home. One just went straight to the bin, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I told them they could if he pooped because I was like, I do not expect you to deal with that.
But then it's just like, I'm like, why didn't you do it? He goes, because...
It's so hard because
like,
you don't want to discourage it and be like, no, you can't wear undies. Of course you can. We want you to, you're turning 4 this week. How are you not toilet trained yet? Anyway, that's probably on us a little bit. I agree with your nay also.
Thank you.
My yay. I don't even know why this is a yay. And it's just, I get to be the tooth fairy soon. I'm so excited. I don't know why. The teeth are like holding on by a
very thin thread. Yes. They will go this week.
I was like, oh, I could, but you've never let me touch your teeth again. Yes, I do. Okay. I do. I have my stash ready. It's all ready. I'm very excited. So more to come on that next week, hopefully. My nay. Oh, the kids' clothes. I know we have nays about kids' clothes all the time because they need new ones and they get dirty and they get wrecked and it's
they never have enough.
They grow fast. They're expensive, blah, blah, blah. This time... Today I was looking around. My office doubles as like the room of all the clutter and all of the junk.
Because it's her office. The clutter follows her.
And there was pile after pile after bag after bag of kids' clothes.
That have been sitting there for how long?
That they've grown out of. Well, they grow into new clothes so fast.
Yeah, but how long have they been there for?
A long time.
Yeah, very long time.
Yeah. And
since the last time we talked when she cleaned. And they all went into piles. The piles are still there.
It just does me head in because as fast as I get rid of them, they grow out of another size of clothes and then another basket forms of clothes that I need to sort through and work out what we're giving away and what we're selling and what we're keeping and what we're...
Yeah, well, the 6-year-old was like, do you know what size clothes I am? And I was like, 8. And she's like, no, 10.
Oh, like, no, she found a pair of size 10 pants in a box of
and
clothes that we'd been given.
10.
Yeah. No, she's not. Those pants are falling down all day.
You better not be yet, girl.
Anyway, so that's my nay is I'm just surrounded by piles of clothes that are reminding me that I have lots of things to do that I have not done.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, but I have to go through and sort what goes in what pile and what clothes are which and like it actually takes effort and I don't...
Lucky dip.
I had a day this week where I didn't get to have a shower. I didn't have time to sort through piles of clothes. Anyway,
cool.
It might just all end up in one big op shop pile and just be like,
oh, there you go.
Organise it yourself. But
nothing wrong with that.
Well, we've got lots of stories coming, so let's jump straight into the confessional.
All right. I tell my kid that Kmart is a shop with a toy museum attached. We can buy clothes and house stuff, but the toys are not for sale. She's almost 4 and it's still working.
Again,
that's a good one.
Not a confession. Ultimate parent hack.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, we missed that boat. Our kids are too old to try that one on, but...
It's because, anyway, yeah, no, it won't work for us.
Oh, man, that's smart. All right, another parent sent in confession. Sometimes when it's a beautiful day outside and I can't get the kids off video games, I turn the whole house power off and tell them there's a power outage, so they'll have to go outside.
Smart.
That's another smart one. These are like more like parent hacks than confessions.
That's smart.
Like I get confession, I'm lying to my kids, but at the same time, you know what? It's good for them.
Yeah. Yep.
We get it.
Yep.
Go mum, go dad.
I change the language setting on Netflix at bedtime and tell the kids they're too tired to understand it, so they have to go to bed. I've heard of that one before.
I have heard of that one too.
That's quite good.
I wonder what age range that works for. I feel like our oldest, I feel like the 6-year-old would be like,
only if you put it in Italian, she'd be like,
she'd probably understand it.
Something's different here.
She'd probably love it. She'd be there trying to work out what it was and backfire on us. I betcha.
Yeah, she's your daughter.
One more confession that leads us into school fails and tales that was sent in because it is school related. Confession. My kids have never ever dressed up for book week. I suck. And I even have a friend who would remind me of the days off in the school holidays. Look. Oh, yeah, I get it. It's so hard to keep up with stuff, especially if you're neurodiverse. So maybe you don't suck. Maybe you just work a little bit different and just need some support. Although not dressing up for book week, that is a bit of a confession. That's
a pretty big fail. Not gonna lie. It's a week.
Usually it's a week, but you've got the parade day where there's one day of dress up.
But it's a week. It's not like a surprise day. You know book week is there. So
I can't pull off a costume in a week. I need the 3 weeks notice that they usually give you via email.
I'm saying it's a whole, the event is a week.
It's not like, oops.
It's not just whoops, so it's today. I had no warning. It's like, no, it's book week. You've known it's been book week for a while.
Yes, when you've had no warning for a day, it can happen. I may or may not have forgotten a dress up day like 3 weeks ago for our kindy kid. Poor little guy had to turn up to pirate day with no pirate costume.
Oh, you're that parent.
That was a whoopsies.
Yeah, great.
That's my confession. No, this is not my confession. No, they've done their dress ups. You know they've done their dress ups.
Yeah, apparently not all of them.
No, and of course it's the poor middle child that's been missing out.
Yeah, typical.
Typical. Anyway, we had heaps and heaps of people send in stories for school fails and tales. And we've had, this is where some of our favourite stories have come from because teachers get to, and there is a teacher's story or two in here. Oh, the first one is, you can read it.
From a teacher. I had a kid write an answer to a math question, and when asked to show his thinking, he drew the answer in a thought bubble.
That's my kind of answer. I don't know. I just know the answer, okay?
Yeah. I did that once on an exam.
I feel like this day and age, you are always going to have a calculator with you. That was something our maths teachers used to say. They were like, you have to show you're working because you're not always going to have a calculator. You have to show you know how to work out the answer. Hello, my phone. I am always going to have a calculator with me.
You wouldn't know how to use the science side of it, would you? No. Yeah.
But why would I need to work out a science problem?
I will admit I don't remember any of the algebra either, like sine, cos, tan, all that jazz.
Literally the closest thing to like advanced maths is working out like percentages and things for budgets.
You didn't do advanced maths. So
no, like I wasn't saying it. I was like advanced math thingy.
Usage.
That's as advanced as it gets.
Unless you study it.
Unless you have a job in that, and I will never, ever, ever. So yeah, fair. I feel like that's fair. Kids should get like extra credit for like critical thinking.
Or just know how it works and write out the process.
All right. Here's a story. I was sitting in a classroom waiting for my turn for parent-teacher interviews. The parent before me was a mob gang member talking to the teacher about how proud he was that she was able to help his son achieve such a high reading and math level this year. As he stood up to leave, he said to the female teacher, "Cheers, sis, I really appreciate you helping my son." Then he dropped an ounce bag on her desk and said, "This is for you." The look on the teacher's face was pure gold. She didn't know what to do, say, or even where to look, especially as there were other parents in the room waiting for their turn. What do you do with that? Say thank you, wait for him to leave, and then be like...
I got nothing. Where is that from?
Someone sent that story in.
Where?
I don't know.
Is that America?
It's anonymous. I don't know where.
Because if it's Australia, it's Victoria. Or it could just be anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, I have no idea, but... Yep, I bet they don't have training for that. What to do when a parent brings gifts you drugs.
Drops you a bag of drugs because taught your kid how to read. Back in the days of consent forms for school excursions, I'd use them for going out at night instead. I was never caught as the folks believed I was with the school teachers. I even did a few Saturdays. Bloody gold it was.
Back before the days of social media where you'd probably get caught out.
Pretty good.
All the creative ways you could get out of class back before technology.
Well, that's not getting out of class. That's going out at night.
Oh, yeah. Woof.
Even better.
Here's one. I was called to the principal office because my son mooned out the back of the window of the bus on the way to school. I asked, "How do you know it was my son?" The principal told me it was actually a teacher that was mooned and he recognized my son. I was stunned for a moment and then said I was more concerned about the teacher recognizing my son's bare ass than the mooning incident. The suspension was quickly dropped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should I be laughing? I'm seeing the funny side of that, but...
Depends. Was it a Catholic school?
Oh, no, don't say that.
Anyway, moving on. Following a mum and child out from school pickup, and I noticed the child's school bag is dripping. I let her know and she checked the bag. Her son couldn't finish his ice block at lunchtime, so he put it in his bag for later.
Aww. Sounds like a cute little preppy kid, first year at school. We had that with the popper. Thankfully, it wasn't like a full ice block, but she put the popper back in her lunchbox.
Yeah, not the right way up.
Yeah. It was like picking up the bag and I was like, "Ooh, this is not good." You drink those in one go, you chuck out what's not left. Oh,
so gross.
The school bags, that actually reminds me, we're in week 2 of school break here. I should probably clean out the school bag.
Yeah, probably should.
My son came home from school a few times with random adult-sized socks in his school bag. Weird, but didn't think anything much of it. Until one day their bag had a pair of women's underwear that were not mine, and I sat my child down to work it out. My child stated, "I'm collecting Mrs. Special autumn leaves." Not understanding what a clue he was talking about, I brought the socks and undies to school and asked the teacher. She was mortified, and after some unpacking, we worked out that the socks and undies were stuck to her clothes from the dryer, and my kid was thinking it was still part of a game they had played in autumn of sticking fabric leaves to each other and collecting them. So she's obviously gone to school with like stuff stuck on her from the dryer, and the kid's been collecting it thinking it's a game.
How do you get all the way to school with clothes? Anyway.
I mean, no, I've had that happen to me before, so I understand. Stuff sticks in the dryer, and if it's behind you, you just don't necessarily notice.
Okay.
Which tracks, because winter is when everything's all that staticky, everything's dry air and sticks. And if they just had the fall, autumn leaves experiment, it works. Your brain is just like not braining right now, is it?
It's in winter, yeah. Still, I've never had that happen to me before, so...
That's because you have a loving wife who checks you over and makes sure you're ready to leave their house whenever you leave.
Rarely. What do you got next? Oh, Mother's Day
We've
stalls.
got some Mother's Day. You can read these out. There were 2 that came in a little bit similar, kind of.
First one. I gave my 5-year-old daughter a few dollars to buy a present from her school Mother's Day stall. She bought me a little clear cellophane bag of handmade chocolates, all tied up with a pretty pink ribbon. But the temptation throughout the day got a little too much for her, and for Mother's Day, I got the little empty bag and a homemade card.
That's actually kind of cute.
She ate all the chocolates.
It's actually pretty cute.
Yeah. At a Mother's Day stall at the school, my son purchased a bottle of Kahlua chocolate body rub. Very inappropriate for school kids, but that was the 90s for you.
Bring back the 90s.
I was going to say
that's a good gift.
That was never at the flipping private schools. We got like soaps. My mum knew what she was getting. Soap. Every year. Soap.
I'm sure they would have had other gifts, but that's just what you picked out.
Not really.
Mother's Day stalls could be wild. I want to know what else. I want to know what else was in the Mother's Day stalls in the 90s.
Yeah, they had Kahlua chocolate body rub.
Yeah.
That's got some good stuff.
Well, talking 90s, going old school, even older school. So Pete, who is one of our very loyal listeners, he comments a lot on our Facebook stuff. Shout out to you, Pete. He sent in that his cousin used to ride a horse to school back when they had paddocks for horses at school. His uncle shifted his cousin's school about 4 miles in the opposite direction, but no matter what the cousin did, the horse wouldn't go and kept taking him to his old school. The horse was like, "No, don't agree with that parenting decision. You're coming with me."
Just knows the routine and wants to stick with it.
I like my paddock over here. Yeah. I have horse friends.
Yeah, exactly. I've driven my kids 30 minutes to school only to realise when we got there it was the holidays. It took me driving in and seeing no cars and people to realise.
That does make me feel better about forgetting that there's an extra week of this school break.
I'm pretty sure that happened to me as a kid. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sure that happened to me as a kid. I'm pretty sure we drove into school and it was empty. I'm pretty sure.
Probably around the time where your sister or brother or sibling came along, your poor tired mum was like,
I'm pretty sure.
Or someone sent in a similar one. My husband's dad dropped him at school one morning and headed off fishing on his day off with a mate. It was Saturday.
Oh dear.
Here you go, kid. Off you go. Have a great day.
That's shocking.
It's like intentional ignorance, not seeing any cars or other people around, being like, we're probably just early.
Surely you know it's a Saturday. Surely.
I mean, I think I've shared before about the April Fool's prank my parents pulled on me when I was a kid. I would have been like late primary. I don't think I was in high school yet. It was April Fool's on a Saturday. They woke me up and like rushed me to get ready. You're running late for school. And I got ready for school and went and stood out at the bus stop. And then they were like, it's Saturday.
Parents news.
I did bring parents news, kind of. This is more of like a did you know parent. Oh, it's parent news. Sam loves that my parent news editions are sometimes loosely parents, sometimes loosely news.
I have no comment.
Well, did you know that there is such a thing as a T-Rex World Championship race?
No.
On July 3rd, more than 300 people in inflatable dinosaur costumes took to the racetrack in Washington for the annual T-Rex World Championship race. It started as a team building exercise for TriGuard Pest Control in 2017 that gained popularity online and was open to the public the next year. With a short break for COVID, it has run every year since. A man named Andrew Stuber was crowned this year's top Tyrannosaurus. The event also featured an aerial event with 3 people in T-Rex costumes skydiving down before finishing by racing to the finish line.
I'm so confused. Why?
It's literally the costumes that we actually won this week for a birthday party. That'll be in next week's Years and Nays.
I believe you, but why?
Because don't you want to be the best T-Rex ever?
No.
It's all
I'll remind you of my original joke. Why can't a T-Rex clap their hands?
They don't need to clap their hands. They just need to run.
Because they're extinct.
I know our son would be having an absolute field day watching that. Our boys especially are dinosaur crazy at the moment.
Dinosaur crazy.
That's why when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's so funny. Parents will appreciate that, especially if you've got any toddler boys in your house like we do. Okay, so another, did you know? Guess what happens to the lost and found at Disneyland?
As in like lost property?
Mm-hmm. Like Disney, imagine how much stuff.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. Yeah. So Disney holds on to the items for 3 months and then usually donates it to charity. Mm-hmm. However, once a year, it hosts an annual sale in partnership with Goodwill to put on a big marketplace, big event. Mm-hmm. This usually happens around August, so one is actually coming up soon. And I've seen the video online and there are like bins and bins of thousands of sunglasses priced at $1 each, hundreds and hundreds of umbrellas.
And there'd be some nice ones there.
Yeah, rows and rows of prams and car seats, small prams priced at $5, large ones at $9.
How do people leave stuff there and not go and pick it up?
Tables upon tables covered in clothing and shoes and bags and plushy toys and charging cords. There's even like a box for lightsabers. Like that.
What? I'm going to buy. I'd go and make your own. You don't leave it there.
It is just insane how much stuff is there.
If you can afford to go to Disneyland,
yeah,
you can maybe afford to leave it there. It's
mind-blowingly wild how much.
We costed it up how much it would cost us, and it's like
just to go, yeah. Yeah, if you can afford to go for a week, it's probably you can afford to leave.
That's a car.
But I just couldn't get over like looking at it. It's at least 1 or 2 people's at least full-time jobs just to manage lost and found.
Wild.
Anyway, blew my mind. Your sarcasm tells me it didn't blow yours. Anyway, I like both of those events were like weird events. I was like, wow, never heard of those. So then I was like, I wonder what other weird events I haven't heard. So I literally Googled weird annual events around the world. I'm only bringing one. I'm not going on a deep dive. But Spain has a festival known as the El Colacho, and I apologize for my pronunciation if that was wrong. Mm. And one town celebrates it by hosting a baby jumping festival. Babies are laid on the ground in swaddling clothes and grown men dressed as devils jump over them. According to folklore, it's meant to cleanse the babies of original sin and evil doings and give them good luck.
And scar them for life.
It's actually, okay, look, when I read about it, I was like, this is weird. Don't judge other cultures. Everyone's got different things. We do stuff that's really weird to other people.
Too late, I judged.
It's like all it takes is one look at the gender reveals episode last week and there's plenty to judge us Western peoples. But watching the video, it's actually pretty cute. Like all the little babies, and it looks like it's a whole family event. Everyone's out there. And it's not as weird as it sounds.
Oh, it's as weird as it sounds.
Kind of is. It did come up as my top search when I was like weird annual events around the world.
There's literally just babies laid out. There's literally just babies laid out. And some dude who looks like a bull, whatever they're called, runs over them first.
You'd hope he wouldn't trip because that goes from a cute, fun family event of
and then all these
creepy baby good luck.
And then all these creepy dudes rock up in black cloaks with a big drum. And they're doing dances each side. And no, that's weird.
It's a festival.
No, it's freaking weird.
Anyway, that's my fun fact for you this week is that that's a thing.
Yeah, people are weird. Cool. Yeah, that's weird.
All right, well, next week, we still want confessions. Send in your confessions. Good ones, bad ones, whatever. You're anonymous, so we can laugh.
All the things.
The things. Okay. And I'm still getting stories in on my pregnant mums. What did you cry about, or what did your partner cry about when you were pregnant? So
nothing. We don't cry.
No, as in for the dads. Dads can send in what their partners cried about.
I was like, what dads cry about? Nothing.
So send us your answers to what did you cry about while you were pregnant, or what did your partner cry about when you were pregnant, and come back next week for more laughs. Make sure you're following us on socials to see all the questions, all the best bits, all the behind the scenes, all our funny stuff, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.